I-V-M.
I want to thank Intel for supporting our show. We're all loving working from home, but let's be honest, there are complications. For example, getting help from IT folks if your PC is down can be challenging because you can't just walk up to them anymore. Well, you'll be happy to hear that I have a solution for you, the Intel vPro platform. The platform comes packed with Intel Active Management technology that lets your IT teams remotely manage your systems and fix the problems without having to go to them. So it means more time getting your work done and less time spent on getting support. Visit intel.in/morewithvpro, that's VPRO, to discover how you can do more of what you want and less of what you don't. If you're listening on the IVM Podcast Android app, click the link that's visible to you now.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy, actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with trolling and cyberbullying. Did you know that 23% of people in a survey admitted to having trolled somebody? 66% of all trolling or cyberbullying right now is happening on social media apps. Kids, of course, are the most vulnerable here, especially since over 95% of teens are online. And what's crazy is that we have all been affected by it in some way. We have either witnessed it ourselves or we know people who have been a target. Now, there are many kinds of cyberbullying tactics, and it's impossible for me to go through all of them in this one episode here. But if you like this, please message me. Tell me that this was useful and I can look out for more and do other podcasts on it as well. For example, trolling and bullying are two very different things. A troll is someone who deliberately disrupts an online discussion in order to stir up controversy. Just a random comment designed to trigger you or to trigger somebody else. So while trolls disrupt what you are doing in the hopes of getting some attention, cyberbullying is very different. It's a different beast altogether. The use of electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages of an intimidating nature or threatening nature. I was bullied in school a lot. My problem was compounded because my school bully was also my neighbor. So I know what constant state of fear feels like. And today's kids are going through something similar. They no longer leave their bullying just at school because it's online now. The bullying follows them home. We're all living these virtual lives. Especially for the last 6 months, 90% of all our social interactions must have been through a screen. We're all going to face some form of bullying at some point of time or another. So this podcast is just not for kids in school, but it is for all of us. Whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, and even WhatsApp, the problem is the bullying and your response to it. See, all bullying is a personal attack. And this is critical for us to realize and appreciate. It is someone passing judgment about you. It is someone telling you their opinion about you. It is someone making fun of you. Now, what is the common factor here? It's you. And it hurts like crazy when someone attacks that. When they say you're not good enough, when they say you're a slut or a dick or a loser, or when they call you out on your belief systems, race, religion, it's all extremely painful. It's painful because we take each of these as an attack on our sense of self. Our sense of self is hurt and damaged. As your habit coach, I want to show you a beautiful way of dealing with these kinds of judgments. It is something that I read from a Buddhist philosophy book. Let's take me, for example. I have lived for 37 years. I've had so many different experiences. I have done so many different things. I have been so many different people. I am multifaceted. My friends just see one aspect of me. My parents just see another aspect of me. My colleagues see a different aspect of me. And even you see or hear a different side of me. Now, someone who has never met me is saying things about me from what he or she saw through a few inches of glass while scrolling through the internet. Now, how can they possibly know who I am? Forget that. Most of us don't even know who we really are. Even the people who are closest to you, who've seen you grow up, They also don't know who you are. Yet we believe the troll or that bully and then get affected by it. So the habit I wanted to share with you today is to be used not just when someone says something bad about you, but also when someone says something good about you. You see, the simple habit is to say, there is more to me than you see. If someone is calling you out on something, making it personal, just tell yourself, there is more to me than you see. If someone is showering you with compliments, saying you're the best thing in the world, say, but there is more to me than you see, because you aren't all good either. And this technique is a beautiful way of grounding yourself in this mad, tumultuous world. For it is true, nobody knows all about you. And for all the good, there is some bad. And with all the bad, there is good. You just have to keep reminding yourself that. This technique works for our non-digital life too. Our bullies might be in our own homes, calling us names. So practice this every day. You have to keep reminding yourself that we don't really know who we are. So how can a stupid stranger halfway across the world who has never met us claim to know us enough to hurt us? There is more to me than you see. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Intel, for coming back to us. We love our sponsors. If you'd like to be one of them, do reach out. So really cool week on the network this week, right? Started off with a bang. Abhijit Ganguly was on Cyrus Says. Funny comedian. I think you guys will enjoy that. We had Dimant Parekh on Advertising is Dead. Dimant's the founder of Better India. Govindraj Athiraj is also on Uncle Please Sit this week. That's a really fascinating show which they talk about fake news. On the Habit Coach, there was a crossover event with Aditi Surana from Absolutely Right. I think you definitely enjoyed that. And last but not least, definitely a show I'd love you all to check out. We have a new show called This Round Is On Me. It's hosted by Gauri Devi Dayal. If you remember, Gauri and I worked on a show together called The Kolaba Cartel a while ago. Fun show. If you haven't checked that out, do check that out. But this is a show where she's talking to a lot of different people in the food space. Her first guest is Harsh Mariwala, a legend in his own time. I think you'll really enjoy that show. But with that, we hope to see you again next week.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.